This truly has to be one of the biggest leaks in Sonic history. Hello Procrastinator, Sam here, and today we already have major leaks on the next mainline Sonic game, the one that was teased at Sonic Central. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that was quick. This could have been quicker. This video came 24 hours after these leaks were published. It only took a few hours after that CGI trailer was released for this news to start spreading. I do want to give a forewarning that this leak does mention something about the possible final boss of the game, and I'm not going to be talking about them. I do not want to spoil that for anybody, and to be honest, I don't even want to look at it myself because I don't want to spoil that for myself. But we have a lot to talk about and a lot to digest with this information, so let's jump right into it. So, as you guys know, we just had the Sonic Central livestream event. This event was to showcase what SEGA's plans are to celebrate Sonic's 30th anniversary, including upcoming events and upcoming projects. At the very end of this livestream event, we had a completely CGI teaser trailer to showcase the next mainline Sonic game. This teaser trailer didn't give us a whole lot of information. It didn't show us the name. It only showed a CGI Sonic running through a semi-realistic forest with this cybernetic electronic effect, trailing behind him, and what seems to be a boost game again. And it had this weird symbol at the end, and that was it. That's all we got. That's all the context we had. But what SEGA failed to realize is that when they uploaded the video file for this trailer for the press on their press release sites, the video file contained metadata in it. For those that don't know, metadata for a video file is kind of like, if you think of like taking a picture with a DSLR camera, for example. Usually with a DSLR camera, if you take a picture, you're gonna get two versions of the picture. You're gonna get your RAW file and you're gonna get like your JPEG file. Think of the JPEG file like a compressed version of the picture. It doesn't have as much information as the RAW file, but it has a compressed version of it, so it's not as big of a file and it's easy to use and it's super friendly just to send around and use whatever you need to. But the RAW file contains everything. It contains the settings the camera was in. It contains, the aperture, the lens you had equipped, stuff like that. That is all contained in the coding of that picture. Think of it like that. So when they released their video file on their press release site, it contained metadata, which gave away the name of the next mainline Sonic game, which is Sonic Rangers. And that's not all. It had everything. It had the program they used to edit the trailer. It had the name of the effects that they used in the trailer. It gave away the time they made the trailer, the times they saved it. It had everything. It had everything in the project file that was used for the creation of this trailer. And this is definitely a huge oversight by SEGA by releasing this. And this spread like wildfire. The second people found out the name Sonic Rangers, they went to Googling and they came across this 4chan post from months ago. This 4chan post is from January 2021, and it is about someone who was apparently in a focus test group for a Sonic game called Sonic Rangers. That is either that is the biggest coincidence on planet Earth, or this is legit, and I have a reason to believe this is legit, and we're gonna go into that now. So this 4chan post said, Sonic Rangers, new Sonic game by Sonic Team. Did a focus test for a new Sonic game called Sonic Rangers, which is an open world adventure game which takes heavy inspiration from Breath of the Wild. Did 2 demos, a 20-minute long exploration of an open world and a final boss battle. And again, I do wanna stress, I will not be talking about the final boss stuff because 1, I don't even think it's a whole lot of information, and 2, I just don't want to spoil any of that. Open world is populated with small enemies, puzzles, and platforming challenges. Completing puzzles, challenges, enemies rewards XP, which can be redeemed in a skill tree. Skill tree unlocks abilities like the spin cycle, where when you hold Y, Sonic starts tracing a line behind him. And if you finish a circle, it attacks all the enemies inside the circle. Lock-on attack returns, which I'm gonna assume is the homing attack. There are bosses spread throughout the open world, defeating them grants orbs. If you get enough orbs, you can go into a portal and go into cyberspace. Cyberspace levels are generation style and the music goes hard. Beating them fast enough grants a Chaos Emerald. Exploration and combat was super boring, very button mashy, but whatever. New voice acting by Roger, and no one else, was present, so they're definitely sticking to the general theme at least. The game is still definitely early on in development, but it was rough. Not a fun time from what I played. There also were a couple comments made on this forum post, and we're going to cover some of those. Someone asked, so another Assassin's Creed load? And this person said, no, it wasn't like a Ubisoft game. Think Breath of the Wild shrines and just puzzles around the map, not separate building, and there's nothing to do. Also, I forgot to mention in the post that there are Korok ripoffs that are little rocks, and I'm surprised I forgot because whenever you find them, they follow Sonic and make the most annoying little twinkling sound every time you ran. Wanted to blow my brains out, Jesus Christ. You get them to this big rock guy at the top of a Ubisoft tower. There's only one though, and it had grind rails. Someone then asked, I'm a sucker for big, boring open world games and Sonic. Do you think I would enjoy this game? You mentioned that it was early in development, so if this is even real, things could change. They respond, it depends on what you're into, and obviously people's tastes are different, but the combat, puzzles, and platforming were all pretty uninteresting. For the demo, the sense of exploration was not there at all. Given that it was a focus test, however, they're testing the waters and what people think, and they'll adjust around that. Looking back on it, it reminded me of that Mario in real life Unreal Engine 4 demo on YouTube. Think that, but Sonic and no ray tracing. I have low expectations, but they have the time to do something about it. Though the actual idea for the game isn't that fun both on paper and in execution. TLDR, wait for the official announcements. Lots can change from now till then. Nothing is final. Someone said, just accept it. No new game for 2021. Even Forces had 16 months of promotion time, and that game is considered rushed as f. They responded 100%. If this game came out in 2021, a bit further than the state I played it in, it would definitely be one of the worst Sonic games of all time. At least most Sonic games are fun. This is not. All right, now I feel like there is a lot to talk about, and you guys already know, my rule when it comes to leaks. I don't talk about leaks unless it came from, a credible source or if it becomes public knowledge. And this is definitely something that I feel like is just too coincidental, especially with some of the things he described at the top regarding like cyberspace and, having to run in a circle. Because if you guys remember in the new teaser trailer today, not only is Sonic running in what seems to be like an open, forestly area, he has this cybernetic, trail going behind him. He makes a circle and he runs off. And, to me, that looks like, that cybernetic electronic effect, or more so, what this guy mentioned. You could go through portals and you go into a cyberspace. That is not a coincidence. And it's also not a coincidence that he said that the game he playtested was called Sonic Rangers. And it's not like this is like a name that we just found in the metadata and we think, oh, that has to be the name. SEGA themselves accidentally leaked the name on another account too. That's right, I'm actually getting this information from Tails channel, and yeah, SEGA themselves referred to the game as Sonic Rangers by accident in another press release. What are you doing? And I just want to say this, before, I go into my thoughts, is whoever this is that's, play testing games or in that focus test group and you're breaking your NDA, I don't get what you're doing, man. Like I get like you want fans to know like, oh, this is going to be bad. We should let them know. I get that. But what are you doing? Like you are not like, if you're going to be going around doing this, then you should not be in that line of work. Let me just start with that. If you cannot keep your mouth shut, then you need to go do something else. Pure and simple. But anyways, so I am grateful we know about this information, because while the trailer didn't give us a whole lot of information, I think maybe SEGA could probably, heed the feedback from fans as we learn about this. So yes, SEGA is doing what, what a good amount of fans have been asking for, an open world Sonic game. That's not something I have particularly asked for, but you guys, if you guys seen like, Sonic fan games, especially 3D ones, a lot of them are open world, especially the ones that are in Unreal Engine and stuff like that. A lot of them are, the open world style, games, and people want that. And I guess SEGA took note of that and they're going to try it themselves. What I'm scared of though, is this is, Sonic Team. This is a team that we've seen when they create games like to create hallways. Like a lot of Sonic games for the past 10 years has been nothing but straight line automatic hallways where you just hold the boost button and you watch the gameplay itself. I'm sorry, that may be overgeneralization to people, but no, I'm sorry that like Sonic games, mobile games, especially the boost games like Sonic Forces, they're straight hallways where the game plays itself, which does not require as much, reaction from the player, and it only got worse with time. You know, I think the way they made them in Unleashed is, you know, pretty good. It wasn't perfect, it was good. I think Generations was also pretty dang good as well in terms of level design. And then something happened with Forces. Something happened like where, you know, they just didn't care. They didn't want to, you know, give the player a whole lot of control, and they just took the control from you, and you just watch Sonic play the game for you. So to then hear that the company that makes that is going to try to make an open world game, that scares me, because you guys are not experienced in even making a regular adventure styled game. So we'll see what happens, you know? And what this guy says here, that there's, you know, you complete puzzles, you complete challenges, and, you know, by killing enemies, you earn XP. So it sounds like we're going to be getting like some sort of RPG elements to the game, maybe kind of like Sonic Unleashed, which may not be the worst thing in the world, but, you know, the way they've handled it in the past, it didn't feel like a fun thing. It felt like padding. And that's the thing when it comes to Sonic Team again. And you know, you guys know I'm usually a super positive guy in this community, but, you know, I feel like we've been burned so many times. It's like we sang this song before, I'm just going to sing it with you now. You know, when it comes to when they implement new stuff in the games, especially with Sonic Team, it usually is because they want to pad it out, not for any other reason. And to me, it sounds like they're probably going to have a whole lot of padding to this game because they want this game to be longer than Forces, but they also, you know, want the game to be replayable. So to them, they think they should just make it longer. I don't know yet, because again, we haven't played the game, we haven't seen footage of the game, so it's, I shouldn't really, you know, suggest that that is 100% what they're going to do, but I feel like that's probably what they're going to do. The ability where he mentions the spin cycle, where you start getting, where you hold Y and then he gets this trace behind him, this line, this electronic line, and he kills all the enemies when you run around them. I actually think that it sounds pretty cool. I actually think that sounds pretty cool. It actually reminds me of Knights, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if that move is a homage to Knights, because that's kind of what you do as Knights, is you create those circles. So that sounds cool. And again, you know, he played a game early in development, so we're gonna have to see what happens. And, you know, maybe they can make something interesting out of it. And he did mention, you know, when you defeat bosses, you get orbs, and if you get enough orbs, you can then go into cyberspace. And it sounds like these cyberspaces are like the boost games. This is going to be kind of like the special stages. And I actually think that's quite cool. Rather than making the entire game like dashing like a maniac, you know, like Sonic Forces, how about make them like the special stages where you have to dash like a maniac to get the emeralds? And I think that makes more sense to me. They also mentioned something about exploration and combat that was very boring, that's very button mashy. I'm sorry to say, but that's kind of how Sonic games have always been, especially, you know, since, you know, 06 and Unleashed, where, I mean, you just homing attack everything. You just have to hit the X or A button like a bunch of times until the enemies feel like they've had enough. That's been every Sonic game. So as a Sonic fan, I'm very used to that. Not to say that, you know, not to say that like that's a good thing that it's button mashy. It shouldn't have to be, but it sounds like a regular Sonic game when you describe it like that. So at the end of the day, what are my thoughts on this? I think this sounds like a very ambitious project by Sonic Team, and I like that. I like them making an ambitious project. I don't want them to play it safe. No one wants them to play it safe. They've been playing it safe for like 10 years and I'm sick of it. This sounds like an ambitious project, and I'm happy they're doing that. Trust me, I am. But I also have a right to be scared as hell that they're doing that, you know? You know, it's the same thing, you know, we've mentioned before, but, you know, we have a right to be scared. We do. We have a right to be skeptical. I don't have to go out of the gate saying, oh, this game's going to be great. We don't know that. I'm not going to say it's going to be great, but I'm also not going to say it's going to be bad. I'm going to say I'm scared, but we'll see what happens. And I'm rooting for them. I want this game to do amazing. An open world Sonic game where you get to run around super fast, kill enemies, grant orbs, go into cyberspace for special stages, and, you know, get emeralds. That sounds great. That sounds fun. Make it fun. And if, you know, if the game gets flushed out and if they work out the kinks and they take the feedback from people from the focus group like this guy, or maybe even hearing feedback from the fans' reactions to the leaks, I think you guys can make a really awesome game. I really think you do. People will mention, oh, it's a bad thing they're taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild. And while I do think it is a weird thing to take inspiration from, You know, if it's a good game, then I don't have a problem taking inspiration from any good game. Take inspiration from Mario, Nintendo, I don't care. If you do it well and it's a good game, then I want it to be good as well. You better do it well. You have to understand that Breath of the Wild is such a great game, and so many people, you know, love that game. They cherish it as, you know, one of the best 3D Legend of Zelda games. So if you're going to mimic that game, then you gotta bring the big guns. You gotta kill it, SEGA. You gotta do good. And this open world idea does bring a bit more question to the table, like, you know, what will the gameplay style be for the open world? Will we still have the boost? If so, then how would that control? Because I'm one of those people that believe that, you know, the reason they have these hallway-like designs for the boost gameplay is because Sonic controls like butt. He controls like butt in a 3D space. Have you guys tried to control, you know, modern Sonic in a 3D space, especially with the physics from forces? It feels horrible, horrible. That's why they take control from you all the time in the modern games, because they know it controls horribly. At the end of the day, you know, an ambitious title is what I want from Sonic Team. I want them to knock it out of the park. The game he played was early in development. You know, he played this early 2021. This game is not due for release probably until late 2022. I'm gonna assume maybe holiday 2022, which is great. You know, if they want to take the time and have the game come out then they have a good 2-year development from the time when this guy played it, and a lot can happen in that time. You can make great bosses. You can make, you know, interesting enemies to attack. You can make a great story. You can make a great open world, an interesting open world. You know, he mentions there was nothing to do in the open world. Well, you're playing an early development game, so I'm gonna assume that they just didn't implement everything yet. If they're gonna have these puzzles, I hope these puzzles are fun and not a pace breaker. I can already see it now. I don't want to be pushing slow blocks in a Sonic game, Sonic Team. Don't do it. I can already see it. Don't be making me redirect lasers in a room to open a door that takes forever. I don't want to do that in a Sonic game, Sonic Team. Make puzzles that are fast-paced. You can do it. You can make interesting puzzles that have never been done before, because in most platformers, 3D platformers, you're dealing with a slow character like Legend of Zelda, where you're, you know, doing small things like pushing blocks slowly and stuff like that. Why don't you make puzzles centered around Sonic's speed? Make it unique and make it fun. That is all I'm asking for. Make it something that us Sonic fans would want to play. You know, a lot of people are probably going to, you know, just say that, you know, this is going to suck because of what this guy said. I'm not going to say it's going to suck. You know, I'm actually really, you know, interested in Sonic Rangers. If this is truly what the game is, because, you know, there's always that bit of, you know, maybe this was the biggest coincidence of all time that he said Sonic Rangers and this is all fake. But, you know, everything seems to line up with what we saw in the trailer. So what I'm going to say is this. If this is real, SEGA, you have time. And I'm excited to see what you can do with an open world Sonic game. It's a new idea. It's a fresh idea. It is an ambitious idea. And while you're at it, making this open world, make it with multiple characters. Let us play as Knuckles. Let us play as Tails. I don't want to play as only Sonic anymore. We've been doing that for so long now. I want to play as other characters. The last time we were able to really do that in a mainline Sonic the Hedgehog game on release was Sonic 06. And I don't count Sonic Boom, that was made by a different company. I'm talking about a full 3D game. Give us Knuckles, give us Tails. You guys already know those are favorite characters. They're popular characters. If the Sonic movie has taught you anything, people want to see those characters. If you're gonna have Sonic be controlled in a full 3D space, especially in an open world, Sonic Team, you need to refine your physics. I am so done with Sonic games not having physics. If there's one thing you could take inspiration from with all these open world Sonic games from fan games, is that all of them seem to have physics. When you go downhill, you go faster. When you go uphill, it requires speed. You need to earn your speed. You need to earn your momentum. That is the difference between a new Sonic player and an old Sonic player. That is the skill gap for Sonic games, is having momentum and being able to retain your momentum when you're going throughout the level. Please, Sonic Team, if you're gonna do this open world, please implement that. That is like a necessity. I don't want Sonic to be able to walk on hills and feel weightlessness. I want Sonic to have weight. I want to feel like he controls well in a 3D space. You could have him control like he has in the boost games for the special stages. You could do that. You could make the special stages like the boost stages in Generations. That sounds fun. But for the open world 3D space, it requires you. It is a requirement that Sonic controls differently. And I'm not talking about Lost World differently. I'm talking adventure differently. I want him to feel good in a 3D space. Please, Sonic team, make it happen. And maybe at the end of the day, you guys can be grateful that this was leaked. At the end of the day, you could get an insight into what us fans think about this project. I think it's a great idea if it's done right. I know what, as a fan, I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm not a video game developer, but in my head, I know what I want. I know what's going to be needed from Sonic to make this work. So please, if you could implement the thoughts from fans regarding this and work around, a couple of the scuffs this guy may have experienced, and, get input from fans of what you should add into the game to make it work, that would be great. Now, in terms of the lore and the story behind this, we know nothing. What I will say is that maybe the cybernetic effect might have something to do with the Phantom Ruby, because, nothing really ever came of that. And, Infinite just kind of ran away at the end of Forces. So we don't know if that has anything to do with it. Still a possibility. We don't quite know yet. But that is my thoughts on Sonic Rangers for all things considered. And I'll just say this again, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope, SEGA can really deliver a unique and ambitious, experience. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the supposed Sonic Rangers gameplay. What do you guys think about this leak? What do you guys think about what is in the leak? Do you guys like the idea of an open world Sonic game? Do you guys like the idea of there being a skill tree and EXP? Do you like it being in the style of Breath of the Wild? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We've had a huge influx in subscribers recently. You guys are fantastic. This is such a great community we have here for Sonic fans. And, if you want, to stay up to date with my videos, please consider hitting the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Sam signing out. See you later, procrastinators.